Hello and welcome everybody to Dragoncast, episode 12. I'm Guillaume, and I'm here with...
Hello
Go.
there. I'm Kaya.
I'm Malachi.
I'm Toshiro, and we totally handled this beforehand.
Woo, yeah, we're professionals. Yeah, it's about time that the season's gonna start. We got if we're gonna date this cast, about a week. We have about a week. So look forward to that. And the first thing we gotta tell you about is, the season's gonna start. Kyle, take us away.
Yes, with starting on the 14th, the preseason will start up for Dragon Ball Z League season 2022. That means that this upcoming Thursday, the 12th, build deadline is at. That's when the builds will be due. They will be due 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to get your builds in on time, and looking forward to a really fun opening stream on the 14th.
Yep, and it's going to be even more special because we have hit a big milestone. We have 1,000 subs on YouTube.
Woo! Yay! It took about 2 years. Two seasons. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yep. Just want to thank everybody who again followed us over to the new era of DBZ League, and it took 2 years to build up back to 1,000 subs from 0. And that would not have been possible without you guys on YouTube listening and hitting that subscribe button.
I think whoever that 1,000th sub was should get like a reward or something, or a prize.
I don't know about that one, man. I feel.
Yeah, we don't want to show any favoritism to people who might have forgotten to hit the subscribe button.
Hey,
but who was on staff?
I have it on good authority that they did not forget. They just didn't want to do it until recently.
Well, while that's up for debate, what's not up for debate is that we're still aiming to go higher. So let's start working towards that 2,000 now.
Yeah. And to that end, one thing we hope everybody will enjoy is we've started making some. If you've been watching our testing channel, you'll notice that some of the tests now have changes, not just modded characters, but we're also modding the HUD. So if you remember the infinity sign where the timer used to be, we now have the blue and orange Z, and we also have some the damage numbers that our stats team uses has also been modded to be a lot more legible and easier to read. So that'll hopefully help them out in some of those situations where, they're doing numbers and for whatever reason, the numbers are just not legible because the YouTube video is either, the stream cut out and so it's just low res or whatever else. Snuffy Sam, one of the graphics team artists, put quite a bit of time into making this new font for us and making it very legible even at low res. So hopefully that will help stats team. And as we go forward, we're hoping to have, and we hope these changes will make the look and feel of DBZ League a little more unique compared to other Tenkaichi 3 videos that you might see out there in the world of YouTube.
Yeah, we're breaking new ground for the league, so if things go well, you could see some fun stuff with visuals.
Oh yeah.
And last but not least, we have a quick thank you that Toshiro would like to share with you.
Okay, stop it. So just to give a quick shout out to our testers and our other volunteers. Mainly the off season, mainly the testers right now. The testers did an amazing job this off season. Well, right now we still have what a little bit. We still have 5 weeks before off season testing still ends. Um, Even with that still there, we've done 1,626 tests so far. That is not finishing up the 44 test requests that were due this week and everything. But amazing job by our testers. Couldn't have done anything with, well, they're basically just a good, what is it? That's the word.
The league would be
Yes.
would be lesser
Yes,
without their help.
basically.
Yeah,
Because they really helped us out and everything, helped teams get the information that they needed, and people were able to test probably a lot more than what they wanted.
that's 100 tests per team on average, which is crazy.
Yep.
So
Good amount of them were 4v4s.
mm, maybe, but yeah, no. A great job by them, and we already know our graphics team. Big thanks to them. They have been giving us the the thumbnails and everything, the all the assets that you see that you saw during the TOP and such.
Team banners.
Yeah, the team banners and everything. So, and they're still continuing to do that work as we go into the main season. They had a little bit of a break, but now they're back on the grind for team banners bits for this main season if anyone needs to change. So, yeah, big thanks to them. Couldn't have gotten this far without them and all. They are a real big part of what we do and what we need to get done. So, it's a very appreciated.
Yep. And pretty soon we're gonna be giving all these shout outs to the stats people as well.
Speaking of which, stats for any of our active members in Discord, especially if you know what's up with the stats. We could always use more help with it, and anybody who wants to help the league out in general. Joining the Discord is the first step. Being active in there helps us communicate with you guys more directly, or you could just have fun, talk about gaming or anime with a bunch of people that are in there. But if you want to help out directly, joining the stats team is a very direct way to do that. Could always use more help. Teams rely on that information to tell how good their characters are doing season in and season out. So, with that out of the way, Dragoncast questions. We got a couple of them from the Discord this time around. Let's start off with the top. Mario Mania asked, based on hype moments from the previous season, what was your top moment do you remember? Oh god. I can't think back a whole year.
Honestly, so many of my thoughts are mixed up with the TOP.
I remember one thing only because I did a short on it during the off season, and that was freaking. That was during our match, Kyle, in the playoffs, Rugrats versus Royals, and Cyberman survived one tick off of the freaking Majin Vegeta.
Oh, that's
final
right.
explosion.
That was great.
And the other one, I know Donut is probably gonna get mad at me. I don't care. I still love you, Donut. But Kid Trunks shredding freaking Android 17 in like 30 seconds on like his last bar of health. He could have died at any moment, but he was a champ and fought through.
Mm-hmm.
Anything dealing with my team, as you can tell, I have no
He's
bias,
not
right?
biased at all.
I have no bias, right? You can't tell.
Not at all.
You know what? I would say so. The whole Videl. This is less of a moment, more just a general thing. But Videl popping off in the playoffs and in the finals was crazy.
Videl, but, especially against Kid Buu.
Mm-hmm. That was so clutch. But then the least valuable player tournament with Galdo winning until he ringed himself out.
Oh my god! Yeah, I forgot that short.
Yeah. Yep.
That is like the most humiliating way for Raccoon to win that.
Yep. No, it really was. I still think my favorite moment from last season was Android 16 going elite, just because I have wanted, I have known that every Android except 19 and 20 have the well, I can't even say about 20 because 20 is Dr. Giro on an old difficulty in the league has actually gone elite before.
No, Mao. No, Mao. You are the president of the Hate Jiro Club.
No,
Oh,
Jiro's the
We
best.
don't need
Oh,
you going.
I absolutely am the president of the uh, Keep Giro in Retirement Club.
How well has that worked out? He's been on 3 different teams now.
Oh, and but here's the thing: you forget. Derp said never touching him again.
No,
Um, and what was the other team? GT.
GT has him this season.
GT has him this season. In GT's defense, I can 100% see Giro being better than Pan. But like, is it to get back to the original point? I am just still so happy to see Android 16 get an elite. Um,
That was a
I'm
weird elite, though. In the midst of 16 being questionable, and that was a weird season for the androids.
It
It
was
was a
because
it was a
16.
weird season for a lot of teams.
I know 16 was a big pain in the butt for androids because out of that one elite, if you look at his average, I think his average is still like in the 40 or 50K because of that
That elite
one
helped.
elite. But then he did horrible the rest, or like I went.
The-
He did horrible the majority of the time,
He was
and then he did
inconsistent
all
last
right.
season.
So
It,
Yeah.
He was on Trunks AI like the first half of the season, and then they switched him back to Boo AI, and that's when 16 got back to a more, I think it was Trunks AI at least, but like, I just remember like the latter third or the latter half of the last season, he was back on Boo AI, and he did a lot more consistently. So,
But yeah, I guess those would be our moments, our top moments from last season. Next up from Snuffy Sam. The last Dragon cast, we mentioned that TOP is easier to just try things out in comparison to the regular league. And obviously TOP got changes, Dark Ops Final Stages, modded Patara before it was a thing in the main league. Would it ever be possible for modded characters to appear in TOP first, or is that just too much, something that might not happen in the main league, or would spoil characters appearing in the main league? I think that would only happen if we're making a TOP specific character, which we've not really discussed at all. It's the only thing I can come up with off the top of my head.
yeah, like I kind of said this. I don't remember if I said this in the general chat, but this is likely going to always be a case by case basis, just because the way the TOP works, it would take a lot of testing. Like people, I don't think people. So like there was a lot of work that went into making Jiren work and getting Jiren done in time for the main league. Like we would need to have that same amount of work done like 6 weeks earlier, because like by the time the postseason, like basically by the time the postseason starts, we would need to have that character done so that the TOP planners can have them vetted and priced appropriately.
And even then, it's difficult to price someone even with just testing without seeing
Yeah.
them in the main league type of settings.
Yeah, and it's one of those things of like, in principle, I'm not opposed to it. I think it would take a lot of work and a lot of coordination. But the other thing is that for Jiren specifically, like, it felt a little weird for us on the main league staff to open Jiren up to the TOP first, when he was specifically created to give Sentai a buff. And it felt weird to let Jiren debut somewhere else. Like if we were to ever have a special character come in as like a free agent only, or as someone like, as G said, like, you know, they were intended to be TOP only, that would be a little different.
Yeah. Case by case, but
So
at the moment, no plans.
yeah, not impossible, but not likely. And yeah.
All right. Next question from Armed Roz. Thoughts on the FA and map bidding war this year?
I loved it.
Yeah, let's just say there was an attempt to quell the chaos, and chaos came out on top. And everyone was better for it.
I actually think that it caused more chaos.
Oh yeah.
By them trying to. Everyone knows there was a agreement to try to put a non-max bid on predetermined characters for teams.
Well, just for the top.
For the top,
a lot of the same Zenny amount for like 3 or 4 teams.
Right, which is not against the rules, but it's against the spirit of it. And I was honestly, quote, so happy when teams made other choices than what they had said and went all in with Zenny, and chaos reigned, and it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Like, you can't trust anyone but yourself. Beautiful. But yeah, things got thrown around. As for the maps, was there any crazy map thefts this season?
There was some actual Zenny map bidding, I thought.
I believe so. Let me go back and look real.
Nothing will top Booze having to pay like 14 Zenny for Hyperbolic Time Chamber in the old league.
No.
But
I think the most expensive was Ruined Namek went for 3 Zenny. But yeah, there wasn't much beyond that.
Yeah, well, I think some of it too goes back to back in the day when Booze bid on Hyperbolic Time Chamber. That was when map and music went first.
Yes.
And now we have free agents going first.
It was also Boojins at that point. They were content not getting a strong FA.
Oh, that's fair.
So they were like, whatever, we want our map.
There was a little bit of that, but then they would be salty if they didn't have Zenny.
Yeah. Right. You choose your battles, and they chose to win the map.
Choose.
Yes. Well, it's up to them. They got the map.
I was just going for the Indiana Jones reference.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Okay, next question from Gomel of Jackshire. Any favorites to make it to the bowl this coming season, minus your own team if you're a part of one, of course? Tosh.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, Tosh.
You're the only one on the team!
Excuse me, Kyle was also on the team, and he made it to the bowl.
Right,
I'm not on a team anymore.
Yeah, he's not.
Okay, we already know that Kyle and his spirit is with Royals. Don't get it twisted.
I forget. There's also Donut.
What I was what I was going to say was, I was going to say, excluding the Royals, since I was a member of that team recently enough, and it would be biased to pick them. Actually, I'm kind of liking. Rugrats have been pretty good, in all honesty. Cold, I've actually really liked what they've been doing with Frieza. So I think they could be another big contender. And Cinema should, on paper, be stomping opponents.
Well,
Gogeta, Pycon, Broly. Heck, even they got Zengaya doing
Janemba and Gogeta
yes.
have always been like inconsistent with such high ceilings.
Right.
Which they just gotta get them working. That is it.
Yep.
I think for me, I would probably have to say hybrids. Hybrids, they've gotten what is it? Team Gohan looking pretty scary recently in tests, in my opinion. What is it? So I wouldn't mind seeing hybrids make it to the bowl. Maybe Cold, I guess. Whatever. GT, I would love to see make it to the bowl. Just because the whole Omega Shenron, if they can get seen Super Saiyan 4 Goku actually pop up a few times in testing, and the rest of their team just does great. So, them, and I think my last one will probably either be Androids because of obvious reasons, my old team, or Cinema.
You know, I'm having a hard time seeing a specific one of three teams that's like head and shoulders above the rest, which is a good thing. It's a really good thing. Um, in theory, if you didn't know how cinema functioned seasons before, and you just heard the names Gogeta, Janemba, Broly, and
Icon.
Pycon, you'd think, oh, that team's busted. But again, Gogeta and Janemba, who knows what they're gonna do? So maybe they have the craziest lineup on paper, and that's about it.
Yeah, having Broly definitely makes them a much. I think it makes them a much stronger team.
So I'm curious how they end up using him though, because
Yeah.
Muscle got him to be a 50k character on a sort of a gamble build that,
They
relies on
changed it up.
Kakarot spam.
I think wasn't that it was usually either what super build or they changed it to like a defense build.
Yeah, they had a couple builds. They would go back and forth for Broly. And he still usually averaged pretty good no matter which one he was on.
Oh yeah, he was never bad. But
Yeah.
there's a difference between 50k Broly and he'll take his man Broly.
Yeah. Yeah, Cinema's definitely up there. I'm still biased in favor of androids. Not even mentioning the fact that this is going to be a very similar lineup to what they had the last time they went to the bowl.
They're super perfect.
Yep.
Yes, that is the wild card. Like, I have not followed all their tests, but it seems like what they've done is, that they've kind of put Super Perfect in that more melee niche and capitalized on that. But they also found a build on Super Perfect that doesn't require Eternal Life, so they could give. So they could raise up one of their weak link in Super 17 to be a more consistent 40k character. And I think even if like Super Perfect may not be the terrifying height of heights that Perfect Cell was, you combine that, you combine like the more balanced core roster, and then you have Tapion and who can now transform into Hirudegarn with 19. Oh boy.
Well, yeah.
That's a mountain to climb, but I can still see like Cinema. GT's also had some scary showings. Cold, like it is very much anyone's game.
Yeah. I'll say if Android's changes pan out, they're one of my top teams. I think Bujins haven't changed, so they're gonna stay in contention. Same with Rez. I don't think they've changed in a negative way, so they stay in contention. Cinema's a huge coin flip, and I don't know about the rest at all.
Yeah, like,
but that's four teams that I don't know which of those four.
Like, personally, just speaking as a staff member, what I would love to see happen is something like, and I don't remember which Kai's these teams are in, so I don't know if this matchup's possible, but like GT versus Budokai, or
That's possible.
Yeah, like
that's East and West.
Just two teams that have never been to the bowl would be my ideal. That is my ideal, and I think it is perfectly possible with what we have seen this year. Do I think it's probable? Probably not, but I can hope.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my hope of hopes is that Jiren leads Sentai to the bowl.
I would love to see that team just like wreak havoc for a little while.
I mean, they
Just,
can get to semifinals and then lose to me.
nah, it's fine. They can go farther than that. Um, yeah, I just want to see them go on like a 3 to 4 week win streak because I don't think they've ever done that. But yeah, that's I think we've gone through every possible thought we could for that. So next question from Dorgard: would y'all consider updating the league name to help people to find the new channel since it's still a lot smaller than the old league? I spoke with Tosh about this a little bit, but changing it to, I think one of the recommendations that I heard about was changing it to just DBZ League. I personally don't like, because what does DBZ stand for? Dragon Ball Z, right? We're using an abbreviation for the actual name as the channel name. It seems a little weird to me. I also don't actually think it'll help that much. You Google DBZ League online, and you're going to find the old channel more often than ours because I think the forums and the TGN stuff pop up first under that name.
The forum still exists. Oh! You mean
Oh, yeah.
you mean Zeta, the Zeta boards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the TGN forums that
No,
they
no, no,
actually
no.
tried
The
making for us.
TGN videos pop up first under that stuff. I don't know why under that name and not Dragon Ball Z League, but whatever. So there's that. I don't really know what we'd name it outside of that as a change.
Ball Dragon League. Just
We'll work on that. I guess I'm not against pondering on it. I also don't think it's the biggest issue. I've done tests. Like, you can go, anybody can do this. Open up an incognito mode. I know you know how to do it. And just type in Dragon Ball Z League into YouTube. And our channel should appear up top, and then right below should be the old channel.
Yeah, like, is it personally, I'm kind of on the same page where if we found a good name to replace it with, I'd be down to do that. And like, I think there are some good reasons why we might want to from like an analytics perspective, because it would help differentiate us from the old era a little bit better. But it's just really hard to come up with a better name.
We had a discussion on it when we were creating this continuation. We had a couple of ideas. I'm gonna be honest, none of them sounded great.
Nope.
And everyone's like, it's just they don't sound good. And at this point, we've also dug in 2 seasons under his name, so it's become even harder. I guess nothing's off the table entirely, but yeah, it would really need to be a like light bulb moment with the name to say, yeah, okay, we're changing it. Because it also changes branding potentially.
Yep.
All right. Next question by Tumnus. If you had to make one change to the league format, what would it be? So if I know Mal has mentioned before that if we could get rid of FAs and make the league run without it,
Yep.
it'd be pretty nice because then we have like this trove of characters on the sideline instead of just 5 or something that we can work with and make changes around.
Yep.
And then it's a bit more stable season to season, but there's issues with removing FAs isn't feasible right now.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, and for further context on that, it's not just, hey, get rid of FAs. It's, hey, let's make it to where every team, like either through mods or through revamp of themes or something else, Let's make all the teams like truly competitive, and to where we don't need free agents as a balancing factor. And if we could get to that point, that would be awesome. Because go ahead.
It's also I'm a supporter of the FA system. I'm also one of the people that introduced it. But it's not just for the balancing act. It also helps change up teams if teams want to try out other characters.
Yeah, it adds flavor.
We've had a lot of people complain, oh, I have the same characters. Oh, I have the same characters every season. FA system fixes that problem by getting you another character. It's not always one you want, but a lot of people forget that part of it, which is a big component of it as well. It wasn't just for the balancing, it was also to help keep teams from stagnating on the same lineups.
Yeah. Part of the reason I bring it up is because it'll give us more flexibility. Mind you, removing FAs is harder than just for the fact that we need it for balance. And it's harder just for the fact that we need it for flavor. It's hard because if we remove FAs, then there's all these cool characters that people want to see that you can't see no more.
Yep.
And people are obviously going to be like, but why can't I see Vegito or Adult Gohan or Pycon? Especially Pycon. It was such a big thing when he was brought in for Afterlife during that change.
Him and the rest, and like half the league,
Yeah, yeah, but he was actually on the roster. But yeah, so that would be a cool change for some reasons and a nightmare of a change for others. In terms of actual formatting, I don't know, man. I think we would have made some of those formatting changes if we could have.
Yeah, like in terms of the format of doing the round robin and then the elimination bracket.
Oh, you know what? I do have one. There's obviously issues with this too, but I would like a quicker. I would like to try a quicker playoff bracket, and one that's less determined on which Kai you're in. But that's like such a major change, and we technically had that early on in the league. It's a history. But was it always best of 3 or was it best of 1 initially, Guile? Do you remember?
Oh god, that was a while back.
I don't know if it was ever best of 1.
Maybe in the first season before my time, but I don't think while I was staff it was ever.
This is purely off curiosity to see if maybe a best of 1 would be more exciting. But then there's also it's a bit more luck based at that point too. So
yeah. Well, and that was part of the reason. I want to say it was originally just a one-off, and then no, it was like best of 3, but it was 1 week.
Yeah, it was done in a single week. It was long ass weeks.
Yeah.
The league's moved towards having more, giving teams more control and like strategy options to strategize.
Yes.
By having the separation and more weeks, and even with the changes we made, I think last season or during the first season, where the bowl is now best of 5. More strategy, more involvement,
more content.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, for my own curiosity, I would like to see how single elimination pans out. And then I always ponder if maybe we should swap out the East Kai faces each other, then the West Kai faces each other, and then the East and West face, or whatever it actually is, and try to do something more that's like either 2 conferences or 1 through 16 seeding. I guess 1 through 12 seeding. Yeah. All right, next question. From Armed Roz again. Of the tests that have been posted on the main channel, which ones were the most notable to you? So I'll be honest, I don't really watch the tests.
Unfortunately, didn't get A whole bunch. A lot of it was cinema and Rugrats, and with some cold and dirt. So,
Look, I
uh,
was a coach for 3 seasons, and I watched more than enough tests. Then I am none looking at those things. They are a nightmare to me. I'm sure they're fun to other people, but they are horrific.
It's just there's such a thing as test overload for some of us. I'm included in that where I can only watch so many,
Yeah.
especially for teams that aren't mine. But I think there's been a lot of interesting ones that have been shown. I think Kaiju and Royals, didn't they have one that was uploaded
yeah,
that had
Kaiju
a
and Royals.
Kaiju fight?
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
This
that
is-
was probably the highlight for me.
I will say, just like in general about these testing videos, my favorite part about them is that you get those crazy scenarios that you very, very rarely get in the main season because they have to line up perfectly. Um, and whenever something cool happens with these tests, usually you hear about it in the general chat. And if I want to see that small snippet that everyone's talking about, I can always look it up.
Also, it was Giant Slug versus Giant Bardock?
Was it a night?
Yeah.
Oh, man, maybe
Yep,
it was
Bardock.
Bardock.
Giant Bardock versus Giant Slug, and it was so cool to see.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Speaking about tests, I did see one kaiju test. I was like, okay, let's see what they're doing with Bardock, because I was curious. Because I was the Saints coach before, and Bardock was a huge part of why we ever got any wins. And they've gone back to OG alt spam Bardock, and I don't know how to feel about it.
If it works.
I
He
think it
was
depends. It
the
depends on which one they
definition of-
were, though, because I think they've been switching to blue Katara.
Well, you know, I mean, nowadays you have Ultimate +1 instead of just Style of the Strong.
Mhm.
Yes, I know that.
And-
I know that very well now. Thank you for letting me create, the demon called Kid Trunks.
I just remember on the old difficulty, he was a pure glass cannon, a one-shot wonder, and nothing else.
I remember those Halcyon days as well. Literally, Bardock comes in, ults, and can't fisticuff to save his life.
Yeah, basically. So I guess whatever test I watched that introduced me to that nightmare. Okay. Last question from the loathsome dung eater.
Oasis.
Oh wait, that's not a question. That's just him stating it was clearly the hybrids versus Namex test. I disagree.
Which,
I don't know, maybe.
hey, it never popped up on the main channel. So, there we go.
Snap.
So, therefore,
Oh,
it's
it
not
doesn't
the
count.
hybrid versus Namek.
Gotta roast our own Discord members like that.
But, yeah, no. That's everything, right?
Yep, I believe it is. Anyone else have a closing thought for our listeners?
Thanks for getting us to 1K. Hopefully, we continue to grow more, and make sure you join us, because we will always love to have more supporters and just more volunteers if you're interested in that.
Mhm.
So,
Main thing, join the Discord. That's the biggest thing. We run everything through the Discord. The community's all here. We have another giant community alongside us in the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate League, run by one of our very own members and super dedicated members, and Snuffy Sam. She's amazing doing all the work for that league. So if you want to check out other AI versus AI type stuff, you can see that. And it's just basically a big community of nerdy dudes who like anime and games.
Yep.
So join.
yep. Oh, and if you have feedback, this is for people on Discord, of course, and if you have any on YouTube about the feature test mainly.
Mhm.
If you have any comments or any feedback about that, feel free to give them by. This was just, more so not a one shot kind of deal, but it was just a test the waters to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Because our testing channel boomed a lot with views.
This channel going off, man. There's
Just so you guys, just to give you guys some context for those that don't follow the testing channel, it went from having 78 views to like 200 something, like in like a matter of 2 weeks, and now we're at 264 on the testing channel. And some of those videos got thousands of like 1,000 or a couple thousand views.
the Spanish-speaking community is showing up for that channel.
So yeah, that's one of the main reasons why we brought it up, and then we left it with 33s and 44s and everything to keep it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, like I said, any comments or feedback, feel free to comment down below or DM me or staff. So
Yep. And don't forget to like and subscribe. As Tosh said, we're super excited to get to 1,000 subs on YouTube. That opens up some new options for us to try and advertise and
hopefully grow a little bit quicker.
Yeah. And if there's anything else you want to suggest to us to help us grow, join the Discord, suggest it to us there, put it in the comments here. What we do check as frequently as possible to engage with you guys and make sure we're hearing everything we need to hear.
We do read basically every comment. I definitely, at least twice a week, I'll like scan through every comment on every video that pops up. So we see everything you guys say, and we appreciate every little bit of feedback. There was one last thing, if my mind... yeah. Slight mention. Next week, the season's starting. There may be some surprises. Just small ones, but they're there. So show up to the stream next Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. And catch all those surprises and the start of the season.
Yep.
All right. With that, we'll see you guys later.
Later.
Bye.